And I felt like an idiot, so I brought you another one in case you want it.
I know I got, oh, okay, so you're over at the Starbucks.
Yeah, they're in Broadway.
Yeah, oh, that's crazy,
Yeah.
that's funny.
I brought you another mocha if you want one.
I appreciate it, sure,
Yeah.
why not?
I was like, I
Thank you
can
so
drink,
much.
yeah, no problem. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wait, I'm like in a daze when I'm there, I swear.
I remember I was there, I was on my phone because I was busy with something.
Yeah.
And I was in between stuff, so I was like coming and going.
Yeah.
That's crazy, I didn't know you, yeah.
Hi, sweetie. Okay.
I just, can you turn them off, please? I was working with a human aggressive case earlier, and he broke his quick.
Oh.
So that's what that is. I was like, there's blood on the floor. I'm like, oh yeah, because
no.
he had ripped off his nail from trying to remove the muzzle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but he's actually doing a lot better. I got a lot of time telling that area.
Do you?
Yeah, so
because you guys have a Lakeview office, which I didn't even, or like a different thing?
So technically, it's Lakeview office. It's actually a PO box.
Oh, okay.
But I used to live in the area, and I didn't want to use my home address.
Got it.
So I got a PO box at the UPS store, and once I opened up that location or that address,
Yeah.
my business doubled.
Oh wow.
So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get rid of that.
Yeah.
So it's just there. I'm sorry if you don't mind saving them up real quick.
Yeah, that's what
Doug took this quick earlier. There's just a little bit of blood right there. Oh, thanks, Liz. I forgot about that. And I think it stretches in here too. Yeah, I got a client that lives right around the corner from you. She actually goes to that Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
outside. Yeah.
I just started working there just in the mornings, and so I'm getting to know the regulars, and I didn't even know if you were one, but I was like, Jesse, I'm like, wait, oh my God, perspective.
I actually don't even go there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was on my way to my daycare pickup.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I had stopped there. So I'm not a regular.
Gotcha.
I actually try not to drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm like, it's risky giving people caffeine in the nighttime, but
But I do love mocha lattes. So
they
thank you
are
so
pretty
much.
good. Oh my
I
God, yeah.
appreciate it. So how's Miss Gidget doing this week?
Oh, she's good. Just before I came here, a couple of hours ago, I did another fence or behind the fence kind of passes, and she did pretty good. I find like the dogs weren't barking at her, they weren't very reactive, but they were two. I think they lived in the same house, so maybe they had some sort of like pact kind of thing going. I don't know anything, but I started at 80 anytime she looked, and she was really good. She didn't lunge or bark or anything. She just is really nervous and goes,
That's fine.
So, but other than that, like, yeah, it's been much better.
So when it comes to that, because on reactivity there's a scope. And obviously the stuff that we care about is the more aggressive, lunging, barking,
Right.
Nipping, biting type stuff. That's technically reactivity, it's super low reactivity, okay? But that's like reactivity more on the opposite scale, more of like, okay, this is concerning, right? So what I would do is ignore that, okay? And because what can happen is, she knows she's going to be corrected, she's conflicted because there's energy here, potentially, right? Barking dog, whatever.
Yeah.
Or even just like a dog, just like in that mode, makes her uncomfortable.
Right.
So she's got to voice that discomfort somehow. Okay, so I go, okay, you're not doing anything forward, like, so, excuse me, we're going to ignore that. And then over time, that can subside.
Yeah.
Because now she's not on the edge, like she's like, okay, this has nothing to do with me. Right? Like there's no need to be in fight response, but there's also no need to be concerned about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if she stays stuck at like, hey, I don't like this, and I'm going to voice the way that I don't like it, it's technically okay. I'm just not want lunging, barking,
Right.
Yanking towards the door or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah, no, major progress.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of. Nothing that we haven't touched on already.
Okay, because we covered place, we covered heal, we covered reactivity, we covered recall.
Recall, right.
So this is number 5 for you, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When it comes to the obedience stuff, there's 6 standard commands to stay down, come place, heal. I teach stay differently than most people teach it or apply it.
Okay.
So sit, down, and place are all stationary commands. They're meant to be held for a period of time. However, we don't say stay, right? So when we would say place, we would simply say place. She'll go there. Her job is to go there and stay there. We don't say stay as a part of that. Does that make sense?
It's implied.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only time I say stay is if the dog is already in position, and for instance in the heel, when you come to a stop, what is she supposed to do?
Sit.
Okay, what command is she in?
Heel.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's an auto sit. But people get confused and they think sit.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sit is put your butt down, don't move. And heel is when I come to a stop, put your butt down, but then when I walk again, you walk
Right.
with me, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we teach to stay. Because she's in an auto sit, that if I were to move her inclination, she's going to be to move with me. So then I would say stay, and then stay means you don't move, I'm going to move. Okay? So we can only layer in the stay over commands the dog knows. So for instance, the place command, since you've taught that, let's say Gidget was laying on her dog bed of her own accord, she can get up whenever she wants. Okay? So then if I decide, oh, actually, I need you to not move, I wouldn't say place because she's not going anywhere. She's already on place.
Right.
So then I would say stay, and then it becomes a place command.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So if we've taught the down through pressure, e-collar, and I say down and Gidget downs, right? Good. She now knows the down command. And then in the home, you see her just laying down on her own accord. She's just resting there. And I decide, I actually need you not to move. I can't say down because she's already doing it.
Right.
Stay. Now it becomes a down command.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
Because other trainers will like say to move the dog off the bed and then send them, which is technically not incorrect.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why not just use stay as that? Because sit down in place mean go into this behavior.
Right.
But if the dog's already performing it, that's where it makes sense to apply the stay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So what we're going to do is we can probably cover the stay and the down today.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we'll start with the down first because that's typically the hardest.
Okay.
Does she happen to know down already?
No, I've tried. She knows sit really well, but I can't get her to lay down for the life of me.
Okay. So let me go grab a flat collar because I think that probably.
Good girl. Sorry, I don't have one. It's the one day I decided to leave it.
No, that's fine. We have a bunch here. So the reason why I don't want to use the prong is putting her into a down command using prong and remote will most likely be too much pressure.
Okay.
It's going to cause her to panic. Okay.
Do you want a purple one?
Actually, thank you.
No problem.
So we want more of a blunt service,
Mm-hmm.
so this way there's not too much pressure.
Okay.
And it's really only with the down command that we care about. Most other commands are completely fine.
Okay.
So I have you turn around, you come down to the middle here.
Bring her around. Come on, girl.
All right, right there. And then you're gonna up and tack her. There you go, good. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna let the leash go slack. And you're gonna take up maybe like 1.5 foot, about right there, and stand right next to her. Very good. So with your left foot, you're going to put pressure on the leash. So you're gonna step on it. And then with your right hand, you're gonna pull up, okay? And you should start to feel like downwards pressure on her neck. There we go. And then about there, you're gonna keep that. And on your remote, what's your level?
43.
Let's go down to 15.
Okay.
And tap, tap, tap. Wait a moment. Tap. Wait. Bring that from the knee. There you go. Good. Tap. 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 There's a moment. Almost. Tap. Tap. Yeah, just wait. Tap. 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 Pull up a little bit. Just pull a little bit more. There we go. Now step down. Good. Tap. Tap. Then take up some slack. There you go. Good. Tap. Tap. Wait a second. Tap. Almost there. Tap. 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 The first one's always the hardest. Tap. Let's go to 20. Tap. Tap. Wait a second. Good. Almost. Tap. Tap. Once she gets the first one, like less likely to tap.
Yeah.
Tap. So even with food, you've not been able to get her to lay down.
No.
Okay. Tap. 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 Okay. Almost. Okay. Tap. Tap. Okay. Yep. Tap. 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 Does she have any allergies?
Not that I know of. She doesn't, not chicken, other than chicken.
Other than chicken?
Yeah, me
Tap.
too.
Tap. Tap. Just deep rhythmic tapping. Do you have belly? Is she okay with turkey?
Yeah, that's fine.
Tap. 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 Amen. Let's see what happens. So I'm gonna give it a try here. Note. Thank you. This is not uncommon. Okay. Down command is like the hardest command to teach with pressure. There's a lot of camera attention here. Just sit right there. Thanks a lot.
Oh, wow.
Does she might redirect here?
Yeah,
You don't have muzzle, right?
I do not.
Is she muzzle trained?
No.
So I'm pretty sure. Because what's happening is when, because we're using pressure to put her in a submissive position, you're gonna get agitation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here, when I was putting pressure on her back, I can tell you she knows what we want her to do, she just doesn't want to do it.
How do you know that?
Because, like earlier, I could see her stooping into it,
Yeah,
but she's just holding that.
yeah, she
Okay.
doesn't like that, yeah.
Yeah, so then, that's why I asked, have you been able to get her downward food or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
is down is a more submissive, vulnerable position. So I've had dogs perfectly friendly with people, and then when I do down, they get aggressive because I'm using pressure,
Yeah.
force to put them in the submissive position.
Yeah.
So then we get that response. So it's not making the dog aggressive, it's just pushing a button. And the dog goes, oh, I'm not gonna do that. And then that's where we get a problem, okay? Let's see, pull this right back.
I know. I know. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So here, she's got to get it off her system
Okay.
in order to, like, how do you say, get over it.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I know. You should see the stuff I have to do sometimes.
Oh my God.
But it's just the pressure.
Yeah.
She's not
It's
a,
surprising. It's surprising to see her get that way.
so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give this to you.
Okay.
When she gives into it, you're gonna just get a little chunk of that and reward.
Okay.
We're not gonna worry about her holding the position,
Okay.
okay?
Uh-huh.
You also have to account for that I'm a stranger to her.
Yeah.
So for her, I'm just some random guy that's coming and bullying her. So. Panic. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all panic. It's okay. So this is why I don't want to do prong. Because this would be even worse had we incorporated prong
Yeah.
because of the pressure.
What'd you have to go?
This is Yep. And the clipper. The only reason I picked this is all this stuff is related. You gotta think about, this is a stressor, right? She doesn't like it. Just like the dogs are stressors. So here, it's how she responds to stress, right? So here, all that bucking around is 34, 21. All that bucking around in resistance is you have to think of it as If she doesn't have to do this, then why does she have to behave? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So I really don't care that she lays down. I care about more of the give in to pressure. Okay. Almost. See how she's putting her foot on the leash?
Yeah.
That's when to take back control. So you can see the crook there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, she's pushing against it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all resistance. So here I'm just wearing her out. Right there. It's okay.
Hey, working out for you.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, this will be the first. once we've started it, she knows we just caved.
Yeah. And you think she knows what we want?
No. But she doesn't want to give in to pressure. That's the issue. So the problem with that is, imagine she kicks into aggression, like full-blown aggression, and she's been able to override the collar before. That's where becomes a problem. This is the power of pitties. Their intensity with stuff, from resistance, anxiety, reactivity.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to it because you see this stuff all the time. So you see this?
Yeah.
That's just full blown, don't want to do it.
Can I help you?
Biggest thing is just as hot as this pants.
Yeah.
We just need the one.
I don't know.
I mean, we can.
She does get exhausted and she does lay down, but
Just trying to wear her out.
yeah.
But this. So, she doesn't know what we want, but she knows the pressure. Because she keeps bucking back against it. Oh, these pants are hot.
You do it outside if you want.
That's all. So see how she keeps popping up?
Yeah.
Almost. Almost. There. Feet. Praise.
Good girl, good girl, good girl. Good girl, good girl.
There it is. Oh. Good. Quick. Good.
Whoa,
Good girl. Good.
good girl.
Right there. Good girl.
Good girl, good girl, good girl.
Right. Good. Whew. Good girl.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Good job. Good girl.
Good
Yes.
girl, good girl, good girl.
Good. Yeah, girl. Good girl. Yeah, girl. Good. Good
Good
girl.
girl.
Good. And she's taking the food, right?
Yeah.
So she's not that stressed.
Shocking when she's taking food.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good
Good.
girl, good girl, good girl.
Good. Break. Whew. Dip it down. 20.
Good girl, good girl. Good girl.
Yeah, girl.
All right, last piece of meat.
26. Good girl.
Good girl, good girl.
Good.
Good girl.
Am I giving a shout to see if they can bring more?
What's that?
A shout?
Yeah.
Is that so they can bring more?
Can you make some more meat?
Through that door right there, that white one? Yeah. Yeah, the girl.
Good
Good girl.
girl.
She's crazy.
Good girl. Good girl.
That's okay, she gets up. We're not caring about that right now. We're just caring that she lays down. Yeah, the girl.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Yeah, the girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good
Good
girl.
girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Girl. Break. Oh. Good girl. I know. Sit. Yeah, Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl. Sit.
Thank you.
Good girl. I know. Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Good. Break. Good. Whew. Come here. I know. Come here. Good. Good girl.
Good girl.
Down. Yes.
Good
And
girl.
girl.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good job. Break. So, when stress levels go up like that, fight, flight, avoidance submission, right?
Yeah.
Those are 4 responses. Sit. And girl. So here, down. Tap. 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 Tap.
Good girl.
Yes.
Good girl.
Good.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good. Break. We're teaching her that fight isn't an option. Very important that we're neutral, which is where the pants come in. Because even if she did redirect towards me, I can be indifferent to her. And she goes, okay, I can give it my best shot, which is aggression, but I'm not going to win. And psychologically, it's important because reactivity is in what category?
Fight.
Fight response, yeah. So, here. So even this here, even that right there, is still resistance to a degree. Right there, good girl. Good girl. Break. So for instance, Doug last week, that was the pit, that was here earlier. We were at 127,
Oh my god.
and he wouldn't stop attacking me.
Oh my god.
It's about 2 minutes before he finally gave up.
Jesus.
But today, the highest he went was 25
Wow,
to
really?
stop his aggression, yeah. So here, when I get her to comply with pressure, yes.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Is because in her mind, she can think, I gave it my best, right? But I still didn't get my way, because it remains an option. If you didn't have the reactivity stuff, I honestly wouldn't care. I would say sure, whatever.
About down?
Huh?
About down?
About the down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared. But because I know we have the reactivity stuff, I'm going, well, I don't ever want her to be in a situation where she were to get aggressive. That she would get aggressive.
Ooh, good girl. Good girl.
Right? And she thinks there's an out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is why I tell people I don't take it as far as you're willing to go. Because I've already done this before, several times,
Yeah.
with dogs like this.
Yeah, this is very,
I
very
know.
new.
It's intense, for
Very
sure.
intense.
All right, put that down. Chunky. The good news is, if there's ever gonna be a problem with anything, this is it. Almost. Hey,
Good
girl.
girl! Good girl! Good girl!
Break. And my energy, neutral. I'm not taking it personally. I'll eat if anything. Because it's actually, yeah, girl, our energy that creates the issues.
Yeah.
If I'm being overly mean, almost. Yes, yeah,
Good
girl.
girl! Good girl! Good girl!
Yeah, right. That's what creates the problems. So here, I know her and I are both gonna sleep very well tonight, huh? Add a girl, good job. Sit. Add a girl, 35. Almost. Almost. There we go.
Good girl! Good girl!
Great, good. So what I'm looking for is either I step on the leash or I tap her, and it's just a straight down. Very consistent, very easy. Sit. Add a girl, good job. Good
Good
girl.
girl! Good girl!
Good, break. What time do you have now?
6:08.
Okay, good. Ooh. Down here. I know. Good girl, sit. Good girl. Right there. Good.
Good girl!
Much better. Much, much better. Good, we're at 35 here.
Okay.
Atta girl, good job. Almost.
Good
girl.
girl! Good girl!
The last one was just one tap break, but this is cool. Good girl. Come on. Yes, I know. The reason why I'm drilling it back to back is because I'm trying to wear her out. Because if I give her time to rest,
Yeah.
we can reset to what we had earlier. So I'm taking advantage of like the fact that she's
Her
fatigued.
exhaustion, yeah.
Because I just need her to tie together. When I feel this pressure, sit, good girl. There's no need to resist it.
Mhm.
Yes,
Good girl! Good girl! Good girl!
good girl. Break and try a couple more. Come on. I know, come on. I know. Come on. Come on. There, girl. Come on. Sit. Good girl. Good girl.
Good
Yes.
girl! Good girl!
Break. One more. Just Daniel. It's funny because when people are like, oh, you're a dog trainer? I'm like, not that kind of dog trainer. There we go. Yeah, girl, I know. I know. Down. Almost. Almost. Down. There There we
Good
go.
girl. Good girl.
Right. Good. So go ahead and take her here.
Okay.
I think we're far enough along that she should be pretty good.
If you want to go get a drink of water, by all means.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Sit.
I got a cup of water, please.
Good girl. Good girl.
All right. So now, for you, there shouldn't be any issues. It should be very straightforward.
Okay.
Give her a minute to cool off. Oh, she's definitely up there
Yeah.
in difficult dogs to teach down.
Is it rare that, or not rare, but less common for dogs to
Super
do
rare.
that? Super
I
rare?
probably worked like maybe 10 dogs in 10 years.
Like that?
Mhm.
Wow.
But that wasn't the worst resistance aggression wise.
Sure.
Resistance wise, she was
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I could tell that from.
Yeah, she didn't want conflict. She just didn't like the pressure.
Yeah.
So pressure, now that she's been exposed to that, now she knows how to be exposed to it, take it, and handle it, as opposed to feel it and go against it. Right? So, because the reactivity stuff, thank you, sir. The reactivity stuff
Gidget,
is a stress response.
Gidget, look. It's water.
It's a stress response, right? Fight, flight, or avoid submission. And I don't want any dog to think that fight is an option.
Okay, my teeth so so you don't drown yourself.
Not because I'm trying to be a jerk. Yeah, it's meant to be a little more.
Okay, a little bit more. Come on. She gets very goldy and gross.
I'm sorry?
She gets very, like regurgitating.
Oh, sure. My picture's the same.
All right. Good. That's enough.
Yeah, the girl.
Come here.
So, just come to the center. We're going to give her about a minute to rest, let that water go down. Now that we've kind of overrode that state of mind,
Yeah.
it makes her more receptive to it. So when we see that, our inclination is to back off pressure, okay? Because we feel bad, we feel guilty, we see her hurting the dog and stuff. She's in a state of panic. She's not thinking. She's just like, not gonna do it. No, I'm gonna do this, right? So I work her through it, and my energy was always calm and neutral. And as soon as I got the first one, beat, repeat, right? Good girl. Energy comes in, but it's positive energy.
Yeah.
We create issues and distrust by getting angry, getting frustrated, getting impatient, getting overly forceful, overly physical. And I did just enough for her, okay? So even though she was getting nippy with me,
Right.
I actually didn't create distrust. I actually built more trust. Because she's going, I freaked out, but you didn't respond negatively. So imagine for you as a human, imagine us as humans. Let's say you break down, either you're crying or sad, or you tell someone something and it makes you vulnerable. And they either insult you, or blame you,
Right.
or get super angry. It creates distrust, because you're like, yo, I just became vulnerable.
Right.
Right? It's the same thing here. So that's why I was like, I gotta keep pushing through it, because once she learns this is an option, and I don't want it to be an option. Two, I then create this trust. because I laid off the pressure. Okay,
Right.
she wins, and she's like, okay, you don't know how to handle this. So I just kept working through it, and I used her mechanics against her, because once I saw her flip like this, I go, that's how I'm going to teach it. And that's why I kept turning and touching on her shoulder, because she was going to try to nip me, but I could use it against her where she finally just flopped.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about keeping her down. I was like, just feed,
Right.
reset. And eventually you start getting more of a regular down, right? Because now she's processing.
Yeah.
Now she's going, oh shit, all
Right.
that flopping around like a fish, I didn't need to do that. This is all they were trying to get me to do. And in food, and she was taking it, so she always wasn't that stressed.
Right.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
I know for like most people, like, holy, because this isn't the shit you'll see on Google.
I
This
know.
isn't the shit that you'll see on TV.
Uh-huh.
But in 10 years, you know, maybe like 10 dogs like this. And once they've gotten it, boom, we're good.
Yeah.
No issues. Dog's not worse or anything like that, but now the dog knows. Listen.
Right.
Okay. So let's go ahead and step her in the middle here. And you're going to put just subtle pressure on that leash with your left foot like you had before. Okay. A little bit more. And what's our number currently at?
35.
Let's go down to 20.
Okay.
And just tap. Pull up on your leash a little more. A little more. Tap. Almost. Almost. Tap. Right there,
Good
break.
girl. Good
There you
girl. Good girl.
Break.
Break.
One more. Oh. And lightly up. Sit.
Sit.
And a girl. A little bit of pressure right there. Tap. Wait a moment.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Break.
Break.
3 more.
Sit. Good girl.
Tap. Good.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good. Break.
Break.
2 more.
Sit. Good girl.
Alright. Break.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good. Last one.
Break. Sit. Good girl. I didn't tap there.
Yeah.
Good girl.
So now, because her stress levels have dipped, she's not as worked up.
Uh-huh.
So now what we're going to do is just 5 more. We're going to layer the word down. Everything's going to stay the same. You're going to circle around and come to a stop. You're going to cue down first. Have yourself already set up and no pressure. Just cue down. See what she does. If she lays down, just praise. We don't do anything. If she doesn't down, then you jump to the tap. Once she gets into it, good girl.
Okay.
Okay?
Do I do the foot thing?
So you're going to have yourself ready.
Oh,
You're
okay.
going to say down first. And if she doesn't respond, then step on the lead. Like completely put pressure
Okay,
on the tap.
okay.
Yeah.
Come on. Sit. Down.
Right there. Step. Almost. Almost. Tip. 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 Do a quick reset. Just say break and move.
Break.
And keep, put her back on the left and have yourself already ready to go.
Down.
And break.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Break.
Good.
Down. Good girl. Good girl. Break. Down.
There.
Good girl. Good girl.
Break.
Break.
2 more. And then she's done.
Down.
Good.
Good girl. Good girl.
And last one.
Break. Down.
There you go.
Good girl. Good
And then
girl.
we're gonna keep her just like that. So you'll stand up, just keep your foot in the leash. There we go. Good. All done.
Okay.
So, the hardest part was always that first one.
Mhm.
That's what the first one, I mean, they weren't as easy, or they weren't super, like, obviously easy,
Right.
but gradually, in the beginning, she was super mouthy, but then she started responding to just the leash pressure that I didn't have to use the hand, and then she started to relax more. Then we gave her a break, let her compress a little bit once we got her far enough along. And here, these for the moment, you even started to see her kind of going into it, because she was going,
Right.
oh, like, this is what we're doing, right?
Uh-huh.
So, whenever, if you're trying to teach her something, okay, and you know what to do, we always push through it. I always tell people, if you start a context, you want to commit and at least complete it the first time. Because as soon as you lay off pressure or you stop the contacts, you've created more work for yourself, and you made behavior worse. Because it all goes, you at some point will break.
Right.
Because that's what it is. This is a
Who's gonna break first?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't do it to be mean, and I don't do it out of meanness. I do it out of necessity.
Right.
Right? So I'm viewed as the bad guy, is what I always tell people,
Mhm.
because I will go there. Right?
Sure, yeah.
But that's why I can, normal dogs that would be typically euthanized,
Right.
I come in and go, you don't have to, but it might get kind of ugly.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because I'll go there. So now the dog goes, oh, you mean to tell me that I can no longer make you break? Now we're flipping the psychology.
Mhm.
So the dog goes, oh crap, I guess I'm not head honcho anymore,
Right.
right? And then that's why they flip, and that's why so like my whole thing is like whenever my mom would say like don't do that, it was only don't do that. So the first time I got whooped,
Yeah.
and then it changed my whole perspective. Things like, oh wow, like this is a thing, right? So same thing for dogs, except dogs, dogs are willing to kill another dog for something.
Mhm.
Humans, we don't do that because it's
Yeah.
against the law, it's immoral.
Right.
We're taught from a very young age, we don't hurt people, right?
Mhm.
But dogs don't have that. And I've walked into homes with dead dogs, okay? I walked in a home where a little teacup Yorkie killed another Yorkie,
Mhm.
okay? And then when I walked in, because they had 3 Yorkies in a pit, and they're like, which one do you think killed the Yorkie? And I said, the little one. Because when I walked in, all the dogs were barking, and the little one was snapping and biting at everybody.
Mhm.
And they're like, how'd you know? I'm like, well, when I walked in, all the dogs started barking, and she started regulating. So I'm assuming something happened, and she went to regulate that other Yorkie, but happened to get a good bite, bit the dog in the jugular, dog bled out.
Wow.
So it just happened to be a good bite on the wrong spot.
Sure.
So they're like, holy crap, they're like, that's exactly what happened. And I was like, yeah. So, and I've also gone into homes where dogs are just fighting each other. They come, there's like there's stitches and sutures and stuff.
Yeah.
And I go, these dogs will fight until somebody's dead. Because
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to do,
Mhm.
right? So it's a similar mentality, but obviously I don't kill dogs, but I come in and I go, okay, I'm gonna break that. I'm
Right.
gonna override, and you're gonna give me what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So she goes, okay, like that was it. That was the hardest thing I've had to do, and I still have to give it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So all this stuff is indirectly related. I don't like doing it, but I do it because I understand. Again, if there wasn't for the reactivity stuff, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
I would have been like, all right, this kind of seems more of a pain in the ass than it really is.
I was gonna ask, I'm like, what's the importance of down, really? But
Yeah.
I understand the whole, with her, if she were to not, what's the word I'm looking for? Behave, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is I could care less about down. We have recall, we have heal, we have place. That's the trifecta. Don't move from there. Come when I call you and walk with me, right? But as soon as, that's why I said, well, down is usually the most difficult. Let's do down first, right? That's what I said. So then when I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna suck. But because I know you're reactive, I wanted this for your own good. We're gonna push this so that you understand that there is no other option but compliance.
Right.
That was it. That's all I cared about. So it was more so the compliancy part than it was the actual down command.
Of course, yeah.
Right? Because down is like, okay, whatever. Like now it's like down's got bad energy, so I don't want to use it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I did it.
No, I get ya.
So, but now that we've covered it, you don't want to stay away from it. Okay? So I'll just say maybe one more time tonight.
Okay.
3 to 5 minutes. If you can get a streak of downs, just subtle pressure, tap, right? She gives it to you. Good girl. Praise, 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 praise. Don't worry about her staying down like we're doing here. Just worry about her giving into the pressure. Okay? So what I don't want to happen is we've now covered it. We stay away from it. And then it becomes another just a problematic area.
Yeah.
Okay? So 2 times a day, one more today if you can, 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
I usually do 5 and 5. That's my reps.
Okay.
So we would do 5 with just leash pressure in the tap. Good girl, praise. And then once you get those 5, down, pressure, praise. Okay, so essentially what you did at the very end, that's all you're gonna do. So 3 to 5 minutes for 5 and 5 reps, that's it, 2 times a day. If you start seeing you can stay down and Gidget just goes, good girl, praise, 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 praise. Again, don't worry about her staying down, right? And we keep repeating, okay? So eventually you can just go down and she plops, okay? That's all I care about. So that we don't lose the concept of the pressure over that command.
Right.
And then next time I see you, we'll see how she's doing. And then we can either do a review or cover the stay, which is a lot easier than the down, or anything else that you might be struggling with.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, this, one more time, 3 to 5 minutes tonight, just so we don't lose it.
Totally.
And then twice a day, and you can feel free to use food. We brought it up turkey bologna because super high value stuff.
Right.
To incentivize you, like, hey, pressure to put you in the down position is not a bad thing. As soon as you give into it, pressure goes away, we're all good.
Yeah. Okay.
Questions?
No, this has been interesting.
Yeah.
Impressive though, I mean,